I was up in my attic a few days ago. Nothing much, just dusting the place out, putting stuff in the garbage. While doing this, I found something interesting. A cracker. To be specific, a Christmas cracker. You know, the ones that you pull and they make a little snap sound. I picked the cracker up to inspect it. It looked to be bought around my childhood, very dusty like everything else in my attic. The design was very simplistic, all black except for a small rose-shaped thing glued to the main piece of the cracker and two red ribbons on both sides. I brought the cracker down from the attic and into my room. After some thought, I decided not to open it just yet and finish cleaning up my attic. I got that done and came back to room to open the cracker. When I ripped the two sides, it made a very alarming snap. Now that I think about it, the snap sounded more like a screech than a snap. So I opened it up to see what was inside. The first thing I dug out of the cracker was a golden-colored plastic crown, though it wouldn't fit over my head due to it being for small children. The next thing I took out was the joke. The paper was very crinkled. The joke was horrible as hallways. What is the fastest fish in the world? A motor pike. Then I took out the last item. The thing I pulled out was a clay statue of a disemboweled mouse head. It had no paint on it, so it was just a light brown color. The head was heavily detailed with small whiskers and intricately designed fur. Now this is something you don't find in crackers. It was quite creepy looking. So why would this be geared towards the young? But at the time, I didn't notice any of that and just put the head on my desk because it was quite cool looking. That night, I had dreamed that I was a mouse. I was running from something. I would just keep running and hiding until suddenly some creature would cut off my head. I thought it was a strange dream, but didn't think much of it. I went through my daily routine, showering, getting dressed, and eating, but I felt a bit slower as if I was dizzy. But I wasn't. When I got to work, I work at a paper company. I felt miserable, but I couldn't figure out why. At lunch, I overheard some of my coworkers saying that I looked really tired and sort of not really here, but I brushed it off. I got home and watched some TV, ate dinner, then got into my computer at around 8 at night. I looked at my desk only to see the mouse head glaring up at me. For some reason, thinking about it made me not want to use my computer and I went to bed. I had the same dream that night, but it was different. The time period from running away and hiding to the point of being decapitated was longer. I felt more dizzy and out of it, like I did at work the day before. When I woke up the next morning, I felt even worse than last time. I phoned work, telling them I was sick and I couldn't come. I basically did nothing that day but eat and use my computer. And like the 2 nights before, I had the same dream, but more dizzy and prolonged. The next day, when I woke up, I was feeling better and decided to go to work. But before I did, I disposed the mouse head in the hopes of not having that crazy dream again. To my surprise, I didn't have that dream. But the very next day when I got to my desk, the mouse head was back on my desk, as if I hadn't even touched it. I immediately threw it into the garbage disposal, hoping I would never see that damn head again. But boy, was I wrong. Even after disposing of the head, I kept on having those dreams every night. After a while, I stopped sleeping constantly, drinking coffee, and not leaving my house. My phone was stockpiled with messages and my email was overgrown. I was starting to go insane. Sometimes I thought I could see the creature from my dreams out of the corner of my eye, but whenever I looked in the direction of where the thing was, nothing would be there. After weeks of this, I finally went to sleep and I didn't have any dream. When I woke up, I felt well and I was not dizzy. I decided to maybe go out and get something to eat, knowing that by now my boss probably fired me. So, I was about to crawl out of my bed when I noticed the doorway was the creature staring directly at me. I didn't move because I was too scared too. Its eyes were dark maroon. That's all I remember of what the creature looked like. I couldn't stand it any longer and finally moved my head to my right to reach for my handgun. But however, it was too late to do anything. He already had me. The last thing I remember was darkness and composing my head and an eerie silence. I found myself in the house, my vision blurred and my hearing muffled. I thought I could see the outline or a little girl playing with something, trying to move around. I knocked over something. The girl screamed and I heard footsteps on the staircase. Her mom walked in, but she acted like I wasn't even there. Why wouldn't she acknowledge me? The girl was calm and started playing again, and so forever after, I walked the halls and rooms of the house I am in. I still don't know if I'm alive or dead, but I'm probably dead.